the technology news that I'm super excited about today. I finally found my remote. Yo, that was killing me. Yo, I was watching a Spanish soccer match, right? And then my TV was stuck on Spanish TV the entire week. Soy estado muy frustrado porque no puedo hablar español en absoluto. Oh, and this also happened today. Apple announced new gadgets.
Apple unveiling its highly anticipated iPhone 12, featuring 4 new models with 5G capability, ceramic shield and MagSafe wireless charging.
They did announce 4 new iPhones. They got the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. The regular iPhone 12 and 12 mini will come with a thing called MagSafe, and that lets chargers, cases, other accessories snap onto the back of the device. Interestingly, to reduce their carbon footprint, the new iPhones, when you open an iPhone box, there will be no headphones, no chargers inside.
Yo, Apple has done it again. You know how many times I've lost my charger? But now Apple is like, you don't got to worry about that no more. I got you. You know, it's actually amazing how we're so addicted to Apple products that we'll just take whatever they give. No charger. We'll take it. No earbuds. I mean, the iPhone 13 will not come with a phone. I want 2 of them, the big box and the small box. Ah! Now look, I can understand why they're getting rid of the headphones. I mean, we all need to be more social. That makes sense. But the charger? Guys, now is not the time to have people sharing chargers. Wait, how did you get corona? Well, you gotta understand, my battery was at 30%. But let's move on to a country that's still on the iPhone 2, North Korea. Over the weekend, Kim Jong-un, North Korean dictator and world's most dangerous rectangle, hosted a surprise military parade where he showed off his brand new missiles and a brand new side of himself.
Kim Jong-un apologized for failing to improve North Koreans' lives in an address at an unprecedented pre-dawn military parade.
This came out at the climax of a nearly 2-hour military parade in the country's capital. The country's leader, Kim Jong-un, was seen crying, along with those in the crowd thanking the North Korean people for their hard work during the pandemic.
He got more emotional than I think we've ever seen. It looks like he was standing there at the podium, sobbing. And this went on for quite some time.
Wow, guys. This is the day that Kim Jong-un finally became president. I honestly can't believe that Kim Jong-un broke down in tears during a military parade. That's how you know everyone is feeling the pandemic blues. Even a murderous dictator is like, it's too much. It's too, the Zoom all the time in my background and I don't have a background. Although, it's really easy to admit your failures as a leader when it's impossible for anyone to replace you. I mean, it's not like his people can vote him out. You know, it's kind of like when a kidnapper admits that they were wrong. I just wish that this hadn't happened to both of us. Both of us? And look, I don't speak North Korean, so I can't confirm exactly what Kim was saying. But if I had to put my money on it, he was probably saying something like this.
자기들이 피해복구 건설 임무를 완수하고도 사랑하는 집이 있는 평양행을 택하지 않고 스스로들 또 다른 피해복구 지역으로 발걸음들을 옮긴 애국자들, 마땅히 이 자리에 있어야 할 우리의 핵심들, 나의 가장 믿음직한 수도당원 사단 전투원들에게도 너무도 크나큰 믿음을 받아 안기만 하면서 언제나 제대로 한 번 보답이 따르지 못해 전투적 고무와 감사의 인사를 보냅니다. 정말 면목이 없습니다.
But let's move on from the world's most famous dictatorship to the one country that will never become a dictatorship for at least the next 3 weeks, the United States of America. After RBG's passing, President Trump and his Republican minions wasted no time nominating Judge Amy Coney Barrett, the GOP's final infinity stone to destroy Planned Parenthood. Now, unlike last year's nominee, Brett Kavanaugh, Barrett has not been accused of sexual assault or juvenile delinquency or... Wait, what was the other thing?
I liked beer.
My man. So, if you were planning on watching these hearings, please, don't waste your time. Because over the years, all these hearings have become is each party making big speeches about how the nominee is either going to save or destroy the Supreme Court, and then the nominee pretending that they have never had a point of view on anything. For example, it's no secret that Amy Coney Barrett is against Roe v. Wade. right? Trump wouldn't have picked her otherwise. But if you ask her about it during the hearing, all of a sudden, she doesn't have an opinion.
Do you agree with Justice Scalia's view that Roe was wrongly decided?
I think on that question, I'm going to invoke Justice Kagan's description, which I think is perfectly put. When she was in her confirmation hearing, she said that she was not going to grade precedent or give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And I think in an area where precedent continues to be pressed and litigated, as is true of Casey, it would be particularly, it would actually be wrong and a violation of the canons for me to do that as a sitting judge.
It's distressing not to get a straight answer. So let me try again. Do you agree with Justice Scalia's view that Roe was wrongly decided?
Again, I can't pre-commit or say, yes, I'm going in with some agenda, because I'm not.
Do you agree with Justice Scalia's view that Roe can and should be overturned by the Supreme Court?
It's a contentious issue, which is, I know, one reason why it would be comforting to you to have an answer, but I can't express views on cases or pre-commit to approaching a case any particular way.
Yeah. Democrats spent all day trying to get Barrett to admit that she wants to overturn Roe v. Wade. Basically, the whole day was like, pro-lifer says what? Pardon? Ah, well played. And abortion rights are just one example. Barrett refused to say where she stood on every topic. And I'm not picking on her, by the way. This is what every Supreme Court nominee does, which almost makes you wonder what the point of these hearings is. Seriously, we're like, what are we doing? We all know what she's going to do. So why do we have to do the whole song and dance as if it's a big mystery? How do you feel? We know how she feels. It's like interviewing a toddler to see if they're going to misbehave after you leave the room. Are you going to eat the cookie when I leave? I have no opinions on cookies. And are you going to draw on the walls when I leave? I don't have any opinions on drawing. Well, that works for me. Here's the keys to the house, kid. I'll see you in a week. Here's an idea, guys. If we know which judges are liberal and which are conservative, then why don't we just change the rules to reflect that? Just have 4 judges picked by Democrats and then 4 judges picked by conservatives, right? And then the 9th seat could be a guest judge every week, like on Top Chef. Yeah, stick with me on this. That way it'll be a lot more fair, and also everyone will be a lot more interested in the Supreme Court. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix is on this week. I wonder if he'll take away my health care. Oh, it's so exciting. And finally, voting is now underway in much of the United States. But if you live in California and you're planning to drop off your ballots at a collection box, you might want to read the fine print.
Controversy in California after the Republican Party installed dozens of their own ballot drop-off boxes at several locations across the state. State officials calling them unofficial and illegal, though they appear virtually indistinguishable from the boxes sanctioned by the state. The California Republican Party not backing down, saying there are no laws that private drop-off boxes are not permitted.
Whoa, 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 whoa. The California GOP put out their own ballot drop-off boxes and labeled them as official? You know, that's shady as hell. You can't say something's official if it's not official. I hate it when people do that. You know, like how they say Old Spice is the official deodorant of the NFL, but I've smelled Patrick Mahomes and he smells like sunshine, which last time I checked is not part of the Old Spice catalog. The deception aside though, I don't think ballot boxes on every corner is actually a bad idea. It should be this easy to vote in America. There should be drop boxes all over the place. You know, they should be like Starbucks. They should be everywhere. And they should also let you take a dump if you need to. Because otherwise the alternative is what we saw happening in Georgia just yesterday, where people were waiting in line for 11 hours just to vote. And let me tell you something. If I'm waiting 11 hours in line, shit, I don't want to vote at the end of it. I want to be president.